The brutal truth. Once older women turn 80, these 5 things happen whether you like it or not. Ladies, if you find yourself nearing the remarkable milestone of 80 years, or perhaps you've already gracefully stepped into this profound season of life, then this message is delivered directly to you, for it holds insights of immense importance and undeniable truth. Once you embark upon and cross that significant milestone, a series of 5 distinct, often challenging, and universally experienced shifts begin to profoundly manifest across your physical being, within the intricate workings of your mind, and throughout the fabric of your daily existence. And the unvarnished truth, which must be faced with clear eyes, is that these transformations unfold whether you welcome them or not, whether you desire their presence or instinctively resist their arrival. I understand completely that such a preface might strike you as somewhat heavy, perhaps even disquieting, stirring a subtle unease within. Yet here lies the critical distinction and the driving force behind this conversation. A vast majority of older women find themselves fundamentally unprepared for these looming changes. They simply do not perceive them approaching on the horizon, catching them off guard, and what undeniably exacerbates this pervasive lack of readiness is the stark reality that these are not subjects conscientiously addressed by your physician during a routine checkup, nor are they topics casually brought forth by your children around the dinner table, and regrettably, you won't even encounter comprehensive discussions about these impending realities within the pages of those glossy, seemingly all-encompassing health magazines that promise vitality and longevity. Instead, this collection of profound shifts, both subtle and significant, tends to creep up insidiously, quietly, almost imperceptibly, until one day, often unexpectedly, you awaken with a dawning realization, a sudden poignant recognition that resonates deep within your core. Oh my goodness, this is truly unequivocally happening to me right now. It is precisely for this reason, this critical moment of awakening and understanding, that I feel compelled to speak with you today, to share these essential insights, because this dialogue is not intended to invoke fear, nor is it a harbinger of inevitable doom. Rather, this is a discussion rooted in truth, a foundational, empowering kind of truth, the very truth that possesses the remarkable power to set you free, allowing you to navigate these years with agency and clarity. Because when you possess the foreknowledge of what lies ahead, when you are intimately familiar with the path unfolding before you, you are then fully equipped to prepare for it, to strategically plan and adapt, to face each challenge directly and head-on with resilience and wisdom, and crucially, to maintain a profound sense of control and self-possession throughout what should truly be considered your golden years. For those who may not yet be acquainted with my work or my purpose, I am Lady Karen, and within the welcoming embrace of Insightful Senior, I dedicate myself to sharing honest, eminently practical advice specifically tailored for women precisely like you, women who harbor a deep-seated desire to continue living healthier, safer, and more confident lives as the journey of aging gracefully unfolds. And let me assure you, with unwavering conviction, today's particular video offering is one you absolutely cannot afford to dismiss or click away from. For the 5 fundamental shifts we are about to explore, these 5 truths are unequivocally guaranteed to present themselves, to make their presence known once you cross the threshold of 80. Some of these transformations are distinctly physical in nature. Others resonate deeply on an emotional plane, and one in particular, especially the very last truth I will share with you, may indeed prove to be quite a profound revelation, perhaps even a source of genuine shock, as it represents the singular change that almost no woman anticipates or foresees. Yet every woman invariably feels its undeniable impact once it fully arrives and embeds itself within her experience. Therefore, I urge you, stay with me. Lend your valuable attention until the very end of this conversation, because I promise you with every fiber of my being that the insights shared here possess the potent capacity to fundamentally alter and enrich the way you perceive the years stretching out ahead of you, transforming potential apprehension into empowered anticipation. But before we delve deep into the heart of these critical revelations, I must humbly request a swift yet incredibly impactful favor from each of you. Please take a moment to hit that like button right now, without hesitation. Why, you might ask, is this simple action so important? Because when you extend that gesture, when you click that button, YouTube's intricate algorithm recognizes the value of this content and in turn strategically disseminates this video to a wider audience of senior ladies, women just like you, who are undoubtedly seeking guidance and connection. And I can tell you with absolute certainty there is someone out there right at this very moment sitting alone in her home, perhaps grappling with feelings of isolation, confusion, or even a tangible sense of fear regarding the profound changes she is currently navigating. Your single, simple click could very well be the catalyst, the precise reason she receives this vital message and, in doing so, discovers a much-needed source of comfort, clarity, and solidarity. Furthermore, I would genuinely cherish the opportunity to hear directly from you in the comments section below. Please share with me, if you are presently over the age of 80, what has emerged as the single biggest surprise for you throughout the journey of aging. Was it a physical alteration that caught you off guard, an unexpected emotional shift, or perhaps something entirely unforeseen that absolutely nobody had ever taken the time to warn you about? Your unique story, your personal experience holds immense power. Share it generously because I meticulously read every single comment, absorbing the wisdom and honesty within them. And believe me when I say your heartfelt words might just be the exact balm, the precise piece of understanding that another woman desperately needs to encounter today, offering her solace and guidance. All right, with that heartfelt invitation extended, let us now move forward and candidly discuss these 5 brutal truths, for they are the foundation of true preparedness and peace of mind. And listen closely. I categorize them as brutal, not with the intention of instilling fear or anxiety, but rather because they are unequivocally honest, raw, and unvarnished realities. And sometimes it is true, the truth can sting a little, it can prick at our comfort zones, but it is precisely this authentic truth that ultimately emancipates us, allowing us to move forward with informed strength. The first profound reality we must acknowledge is the undeniable and often pervasive physical energy decline that accompanies this stage of life. Even if you have been fortunate enough to maintain excellent health throughout your earlier years, even if you still boast a vibrant spirit, you will invariably begin to notice that a sense of fatigue, a deep-seated weariness, creeps in far more rapidly and insistently than it ever used to, subtly, yet fundamentally altering your daily rhythm. What you could once accomplish with effortless ease in a single invigorating morning might now demand the entirety of your day, stretching out the simplest tasks and requiring frequent pauses for rest and recuperation, leaving you feeling utterly depleted. Perhaps the once simple act of traversing the expansive aisles of a grocery store now feels akin to undertaking a small, unanticipated marathon, draining your reserves and leaving your legs weary. Or consider the everyday ritual of standing at the stove to prepare a nourishing, full meal for yourself or loved ones. This seemingly ordinary activity might now leave you feeling so utterly spent that you are immediately ready for a restorative nap, seeking respite from the exertion. This isn't a sign of weakness, nor is it a personal failing. It is, quite simply, biology. Your remarkable body, after decades of dedicated service, no longer possesses the same rapid capacity for recovery it once did, and the internal energy tank, that wellspring of vitality, consistently registers at a noticeably lower level than it did when you were a spry 60 or even a still energetic 70, demanding a fundamental recalibration of expectations and activities. The second brutal truth revolves around memory and cognitive shifts, a phenomenon distinct from, yet often confused with, more severe conditions. Now, to be absolutely clear, I am not here to discuss the onset of dementia or Alzheimer's. Rather, I am referring to the more subtle yet increasingly noticeable manifestations of everyday forgetfulness that become an undeniable part of daily life. These are the moments when you meticulously place your glasses down, only to minutes later be unable to recall their precise location, leading to a frustrating search. Or perhaps you purposefully walk into the kitchen with a clear intention, only to find yourself standing there momentarily perplexed, having completely forgotten the original reason for your journey. Names that once surfaced instantly, effortlessly rolling off your tongue in conversation, now require a little longer to retrieve from the depths of your mind, hovering just out of reach, demanding a conscious effort to recall. This experience can indeed be incredibly frustrating, sometimes even a source of mild embarrassment, making you question your own sharpness. However, it is a perfectly natural and common facet of the aging process that your brain undergoes, a predictable part of its remarkable lifelong journey. It is not necessarily a sign of decline, but rather a shift in how your brain processes and retrieves information, requiring patience and new strategies. The third profound truth, which often carries a significant emotional weight, is the inevitable shrinking of social circles. Over the vast expanse of time, as the years accumulate, friends you have cherished and known for decades, companions with whom you've shared countless memories, may tragically pass away, leaving behind a profound void. Others, facing their own unique challenges or family circumstances, might relocate to assisted living facilities, or their families may move them far away from the familiar neighborhood, severing the casual, everyday connections that once formed the bedrock of your social life. And even within your immediate family, the dynamics shift. Your children, your beloved grandchildren, are in the prime of their lives. They are undeniably busy with demanding careers, diligently working to secure their own futures, and actively engaged in the all-consuming yet incredibly rewarding task of raising children of their own. Consequently, you may suddenly find yourself receiving fewer phone calls, experiencing fewer spontaneous visits, and encountering fewer familiar, comforting faces in your daily routine. That pervasive emptiness, that poignant sense of loss and increasing solitude stands as one of the most profoundly challenging emotional adjustments that women over the age of 80 frequently grapple with, demanding immense emotional resilience. The fourth truth to confront is that of increased vulnerability, a reality that encompasses both physical and emotional dimensions, demanding heightened awareness and protective measures. Physically, your body, while still remarkably resilient, becomes inherently more prone to accidents such as falls, which can have devastating consequences. Small infections that once cleared quickly can now take a greater toll, and sudden health scares, which previously felt distant, become more immediate and concerning. Yet, this increased vulnerability does not cease at the physical realm. Emotionally, seniors over the age of 80 are, tragically, the #1 targets for cunning and opportunistic scammers, predators who meticulously seek out women who appear inherently trusting, exceptionally kind, or perhaps just a little too polite to abruptly terminate a phone call, leveraging these admirable qualities against them. That pervasive, creeping sense of vulnerability can be deeply frightening, for it forces a stark and often unsettling realization. The world, in its often harsh reality, now perceives you differently than it once did, no longer seeing the robust, independent individual, but rather a potential target. And then we arrive at the fifth truth, one that is arguably the hardest, the most subtle, yet profoundly impactful of them all: a fundamental shift in identity. For a great many women who have reached and surpassed the age of 80, there settles in a quiet, often unspoken, yet deeply felt sensation of becoming invisible. You might walk into a bustling store, eager to make a purchase or simply browse, and observe with a pang that the clerk's gaze glides effortlessly past you, directing their attention to a younger customer. You may attend a doctor's appointment, a personal and private matter, only to find that the medical staff instinctively addresses your adult daughter, who accompanies you instead of engaging directly with you, the patient. Society, through its unconscious biases and pervasive ageism, often possesses a regrettable way of overlooking older women, as though your rich, complex story has already been entirely written, completed, and filed away, no longer deemed actively relevant or worthy of direct engagement. And yet, deep within, you know, with unwavering certainty, that you are still profoundly you still possess an invaluable wellspring of wisdom, a quiet yet persistent fire of spirit, and a lifetime of rich, unique experiences that are undeniably worth sharing, worth celebrating. But despite this inner conviction, it doesn't always feel as though the world actively sees or values that anymore, creating a profound disconnect between your vibrant internal reality and the often dismissive external perception. Now, take a reflective moment and cast your mind back, allowing a brief journey through the seasons of your life. At the energetic age of 40, you might have first noticed the subtle appearance of your initial gray hairs, a gentle herald of time's passage. By 60, perhaps you began to pay closer, more attentive consideration to the condition of your joints, noticing minor stiffness or aches. But once you cross the truly significant threshold of 80, the nature of these changes undergoes a dramatic transformation. They are not merely subtle shifts, but rather bigger, more pervasive, and they arrive with a much quicker, more insistent cadence. And critically, unless you consciously recognize them for precisely what they are, not isolated incidents, but part of a larger, natural progression, they possess the power to catch you completely off guard, leaving you feeling bewildered and unprepared. That, my dear friends, is the very essence of why we are having this candid discussion today, to shine a clear, unwavering light on these realities, illuminating them so that you can journey through these advanced years with your eyes wide open, fully prepared for what lies ahead, and crucially, never blindsided by the unexpected. So, having now meticulously laid out these 5 brutal yet profoundly honest truths, let us pivot our conversation to explore why these specific realities tend to impact women over 80 with a far greater intensity and depth than most people truly comprehend. Because these transformations, these shifts in body, mind, and spirit do not occur in a vacuum, isolated from other life factors. Rather, they are deeply intertwined with a complex web of physical reasons, social reasons, and even profound psychological reasons that collectively conspire to make this particular stage of life inherently more challenging, more demanding than previous decades. Physically, there's an undeniable truth that your body, while still a magnificent vessel, simply doesn't possess the same inherent strength, the same youthful vigor and resilience it once did. Frailty, which was once a distant concept, gradually becomes an undeniable, lived reality, impacting everything from balance to endurance. Your reaction times, once swift and automatic, become discernibly slower, meaning that if you unfortunately trip or stumble, you can no longer always instinctively catch yourself with the same agility and speed you once commanded, increasing the risk of serious falls. Furthermore, your immune system, that remarkable internal shield meticulously designed by your body to ward off illness and infection, has naturally weakened over time, which tragically means that something as seemingly minor as a common cold or a small localized infection can now knock you down with a far greater severity and persistence than it would have a mere 20 years ago, prolonging recovery and sapping energy. Socially, the landscape of life looks dramatically different at the age of 80 compared to earlier decades, presenting a unique set of challenges. a larger proportion of women in this age group find themselves living alone, whether by conscious choice, embracing solitude, or more often as a painful consequence of loss, the passing of a spouse, life partners, or close companions. And when you live by yourself, the intricate web of daily living often necessitates a greater degree of dependence on various external supports, on dedicated caregivers who provide essential assistance, on medical professionals for health management, or even on strangers encountered in public spaces, from the grocery store clerk to the bus driver. This increased reliance, this subtle shift towards dependency, can frequently feel deeply uncomfortable, eroding a sense of autonomy that has been carefully cultivated over a lifetime, and sometimes it places you in situations where other individuals inadvertently or intentionally hold more control over your immediate circumstances than you would ideally prefer, creating a sense of disempowerment. And then there is the crucial psychological dimension, a layer of understanding that provides profound context. Women who are currently over the age of 80 largely grew up and came of age in a fundamentally different world. A world where a handshake was a binding agreement, where people generally honored their spoken word with integrity, and where a foundational sense of trust and shared responsibility formed the very bedrock of community interactions. That deeply ingrained trusting nature, that inherent openness to others, is a truly beautiful and admirable human quality. However, it also, paradoxically, renders you more vulnerable in today's often more cynical and complex societal landscape. The sad and sobering truth is that not everyone you encounter in the modern world operates with good intentions or holds your best interests at heart. Scammers, aggressive and pushy salespeople, and even certain less ethical professionals regrettably perceive seniors as easier targets to persuade, to manipulate, and they often ruthlessly take advantage of that inherent openness, that trusting disposition for their own gain, exploiting kindness and vulnerability. Consider for a moment the seemingly mundane, everyday moments that can become unexpectedly challenging. At the pharmacy, where precision is paramount, a small medication mix-up is unfortunately more likely to slip through unnoticed, not due to incompetence, but because you are often juggling multiple prescriptions with complex dosages, and the various labels on different bottles, in their standardized design, can look almost identical, leading to potential confusion. At the bustling grocery store, the simple act of navigating through the seemingly endless aisles can suddenly feel overwhelmingly arduous, a task demanding immense mental and physical fortitude. Fatigue sets in much faster than anticipated, and suddenly the familiar shopping cart feels less like a convenient basket on wheels and more like a heavy, cumbersome walker supporting your weary frame as you inch along. And at the doctor's office, where vital health information is conveyed, the rapid-fire medical jargon, filled with complex terminology, can feel utterly bewildering, almost like another language entirely, leaving you feeling lost in translation. The appointment, often constrained by time, goes by quickly, and before you have even had a chance to fully process what was discussed, what was recommended, or what was implicitly left unsaid, you find yourself walking out the door with more unanswered questions swirling in your mind than concrete answers, feeling a sense of unease. All of these interconnected layers, the physical limitations, the evolving social dynamics, and the psychological vulnerabilities, accumulate and interweave, creating a complex tapestry of experience. They don't merely explain why the changes experienced after 80 feel more profound and heavier. They illuminate with stark clarity why so many older women report feeling as though the world around them is accelerating at an uncontrollable pace, leaving them perpetually struggling, valiantly trying to keep up with its relentless momentum. Now, here is where the situation becomes even more genuinely concerning, where the stakes rise significantly. These fundamental changes are not merely uncomfortable adjustments or minor inconveniences. They are, in fact, inherently more dangerous than they initially appear on the surface, and this profound danger arises because their effects ripple outwards in a cascade of consequences, impacting various facets of life in ways that most people fail to fully recognize or appreciate until, tragically, it is already too late to intervene effectively. Take fatigue. For a crucial example, it might deceptively seem like nothing more than simply being a little more tired than your usual self, a minor annoyance. However, fatigue is a silent, insidious setup for potentially devastating falls, and falls at this stage of life are no longer minor accidents that one can simply brush off with a laugh and a quick recovery. They represent the number one primary reason why women over the age of 80 ultimately find themselves in the emergency room facing urgent medical crises. One single wrong step, one fleeting moment of physical weakness or inattention, and suddenly you could be confronting debilitating broken bones, requiring extensive surgery, or enduring months of painful, arduous recovery, fundamentally impacting your independence and quality of life. Then there is the pervasive experience of loneliness, a silent epidemic that plagues many older adults. On the surface, it might appear to be nothing more than a string of empty afternoons, stretching into quiet, solitary evenings, a mere absence of company. But loneliness, in its insidious nature, digs far, far deeper than superficial isolation. Extensive, rigorous studies have unequivocally demonstrated that persistent loneliness significantly elevates the risk of clinical depression, certainly, but its detrimental effects extend far beyond mental health. It also demonstrably increases the risk of serious heart disease, accelerates cognitive decline and memory issues, and can even contribute to a shorter overall lifespan. It is not just a passing feeling of sadness or a temporary state of solitude. It is a profound and tangible health risk, lurking in plain sight, often overlooked or underestimated by society. And what about the frustrating reality of forgetfulness? Misplacing your keys or your wallet might seem like a relatively harmless, albeit annoying occurrence that everyone experiences from time to time. However, that very same forgetfulness, those small lapses in memory, can tragically render you a prime and highly susceptible target for sophisticated financial scams. Scammers, these predatory individuals, are master manipulators. They possess an uncanny ability to confuse, to pressure, and to rush their victims into making hasty, ill-advised decisions. One moment of distraction, one instance of cognitive overload, and your carefully accumulated life savings could vanish irrevocably with a single devastating phone call or a deceptive email click, leaving you financially devastated and emotionally shattered. But here, perhaps, is the most unfair and heartbreaking truth of all, a reality often hidden beneath a veneer of normalcy. Even when adult children reside relatively nearby, living within a reasonable proximity, many women over the age of 80 still express a deep-seated feeling of being overlooked, of their needs being underestimated. Why does this distressing phenomenon occur? Because from an external perspective, from the vantage point of their children or grandchildren, you often appear perfectly fine, perfectly capable. Perhaps you are meticulously dressed, neatly presented, maintaining your appearance with grace. Maybe you manage to offer a warm, reassuring smile when they stop by for a brief visit, masking the inner struggle. But what they don't always, or perhaps cannot always, truly see, truly comprehend, is the profound, pervasive fatigue that gnaws at your energy, the quiet ache of loneliness that resides within your heart, or the persistent unspoken worry and anxiety that you carry deep inside, a constant companion. And so, because these internal struggles are largely invisible, your very real difficulties, your genuine needs, often get unintentionally brushed aside, dismissed as nothing more than an inevitable, ordinary part of simply getting old, an unavoidable consequence of aging that requires no further inquiry or support, and that poignant, often overlooked reality brings us to a truly uncomfortable yet absolutely essential question that demands our collective attention. Are these profound changes truly and utterly inevitable, an unalterable fate we must simply accept? Or, alternatively, are we, as a broader society, inadvertently allowing them to happen, passively treating them as unavoidable consequences of aging when, in a more enlightened reality, significantly more could and should be done to proactively support, protect, and empower older women throughout these vital years? So, in the face of these formidable truths and profound questions, what concretely can you actively do? How do you bravely face these sweeping changes without succumbing to a debilitating sense of powerlessness or despair? Without feeling like a mere spectator in your own life? The empowering truth, my dear ladies, is that you possess far more control, far more agency than you might initially believe or perceive. It is fundamentally about diligently making small, yet incredibly steady and intentional choices each day. Choices that collectively serve to protect your well-being, safeguard your independence, and enhance your quality of life, day after day, year after year. Let us thoughtfully walk through a few profoundly simple yet remarkably effective steps together. Steps that can make a world of difference. First, consider a surprisingly impactful yet incredibly simple $5 fix that could genuinely save your life or prevent debilitating injury. Invest without hesitation in a bright, reliable nightlight for your bedroom, strategically placed in your hallway, and certainly within your bathroom. This one minuscule purchase, this tiny beacon of illumination, possesses the remarkable power to save you from a catastrophic fall in the vulnerable middle of the night. A fall that is, statistically, the #1 danger confronting women over the age of 80. Never ever underestimate the immense safety and peace of mind that derives from simply being able to see clearly and navigate confidently when you are moving around the familiar confines of your own home, particularly when your vision may not be as sharp as it once was. Second, cultivate and meticulously build a consistent daily routine specifically designed to support and bolster your memory. Make it a steadfast habit to diligently write down your appointments, every single medication you need to take, and even simple daily to-do lists, and critically keep these essential reminders in one easily visible, designated spot where they are impossible to overlook. Do not, under any circumstances, rely solely on your memory alone, as it can be a fickle companion at times. A small, dedicated notebook kept prominently by the phone, or a clearly legible calendar strategically placed on the kitchen wall can profoundly alleviate stress from your mind, freeing up cognitive energy and bestow upon you an invaluable sense of peace of mind each and every day, ensuring crucial tasks are not forgotten. Third, make it an absolute priority to schedule a weekly social check-in. Do not passively wait for your children or your grandchildren, however well-meaning, to initiate contact, as their lives are often busy and demanding. Instead, empower yourself. Pick up the phone yourself, with intention and purpose. Reach out proactively to a trusted friend, a kind neighbor, or another individual whom you implicitly trust and enjoy connecting with. Better yet, if circumstances permit, endeavor to arrange a short, in-person visit, even if it's as simple as sitting together, sharing stories over a comforting cup of tea. That regular, consistent connection, that tangible bond with another human being, serves as incredibly potent medicine against the insidious onset of loneliness, nurturing your spirit and fortifying your mental well-being. Fourth, fiercely protect your finances with vigilance and unwavering caution. Remember, scammers are incredibly clever, relentlessly devising new and increasingly sophisticated schemes to defraud unsuspecting individuals. Be skeptical of unsolicited calls, emails, or visitors promising easy money or demanding immediate action. By proactively treating your financial well-being with the utmost priority, by being acutely aware of potential threats and acting decisively, you are not merely protecting your hard-earned money, but you are also fundamentally safeguarding your precious independence, ensuring you retain control over your own resources and your future. These 4 steps individually might indeed sound quite simple, even rudimentary. However, when you conscientiously integrate them, when you thoughtfully weave them together into the fabric of your daily life, they collectively forge an incredibly strong, resilient shield. A shield that allows you to face the challenges and unique realities of your 80s, not with apprehension or paralyzing fear, but with a profound, unwavering sense of confidence, control, and self-assuredness. Now, let's be entirely real and honest with each other. Even with the implementation of the very best habits, the most meticulous routines, and the strongest, most heartfelt intentions, life, in its unpredictable nature, will still present unforeseen challenges. Things will still inevitably happen that are beyond your direct control. And when these unexpected events do occur, the manner in which you choose to respond, your immediate course of action, can genuinely make all the difference, profoundly shaping the outcome. Therefore, allow me to present a straightforward, step-by-step emergency action plan designed to empower you with immediate, decisive strategies. First, if you experience a fall, no matter how minor it might initially seem, do not, under any circumstances, attempt to be strong, to tough it out, or to simply brush it off as inconsequential. Your well-being is paramount. Call 911 immediately, without delay, to ensure you receive professional medical assessment for potential hidden injuries. Following that crucial step, promptly call a trusted contact, whether that's a family member who lives nearby, a reliable neighbor, or a close, dependable friend. Receiving prompt help can be the critical distinction between a relatively short, manageable recovery and a protracted, agonizing setback that fundamentally impacts your mobility and quality of life. Second, if you ever find yourself the victim of a scam, and let me emphasize, it happens far faster than you might imagine, and it can, regrettably, happen to absolutely anyone, regardless of their intelligence or vigilance. The very moment you realize you have been targeted or compromised, call your bank immediately. Get those accounts frozen, secure, and protected before any further irreversible damage can be inflicted. Subsequently, report the incident without hesitation to your local authorities. You might experience feelings of embarrassment or shame, but please do not allow those emotions to silence you. Scammers are highly sophisticated professionals at what they do, masters of deception, and speaking up, sharing your experience, could very well be the catalyst that protects someone else from falling prey to the exact same trap, turning your unfortunate experience into a shield for others. Third, if feelings of profound loneliness or the insidious shadow of depression begin to creep into your daily existence, settling into your heart and mind, do not, I implore you, keep it bottled up inside, allowing it to fester in isolation. Be brave, be honest, and tell your doctor openly and candidly, letting them know precisely what you are truly feeling, sharing the depths of your emotional experience. It is important to remember that there are numerous programs specifically designed for older adults, robust senior groups offering companionship and activities, and even dedicated hotlines that are explicitly tailored to provide support and understanding to older individuals grappling with these very emotions. You are emphatically not a burden, and you absolutely do not have to carry that immense emotional weight alone. Support and understanding are readily available. And fourth, if you begin to notice undeniable slips in your memory, even seemingly minor ones, make it a diligent habit to write them down. Keep a small, dedicated notebook where you meticulously record precisely when these incidents occur and specifically what you forgot. Share these observations openly and honestly with your family, and critically, Bring this detailed record to your doctor at the earliest possible opportunity. The sooner you speak up, the sooner these shifts are acknowledged and addressed, the more support, potential diagnostic pathways, and treatment options will be available to you, empowering you to maintain cognitive function and peace of mind. And here I offer you my biggest, most heartfelt encouragement, a core tenet of self-advocacy. Do not, under any circumstances, give up or be deterred if the initial answer or dismissive response you hear is simply, "Oh, that's just normal for your age." You, as an individual with a lifetime of experience and wisdom, deserve to be heard, to be genuinely listened to, and to have your concerns taken seriously. You know your body, your mind, and your unique experiences better than anyone else possibly could. If one person, one professional, does not seem to listen with genuine empathy and attention, if your concerns are trivialized, keep speaking up. Keep advocating for yourself until you find someone who truly hears you, who validates your experiences, and who is willing to help. Your health, your safety, and your invaluable peace of mind are absolutely worth fighting for with unwavering determination. So let us now bring all of these essential insights together, weaving them into a cohesive understanding. Once a woman courageously crosses into her 80s, these 5 brutal yet undeniably real truths begin to unequivocally show themselves, fundamentally reshaping her daily reality. Her physical energy demonstrably declines, impacting every aspect of her daily life. Her memory and cognitive focus subtly yet persistently shift, demanding new strategies for engagement. Her cherished social circle inexorably begins to shrink, leading to feelings of isolation. Her overall vulnerability, both physical and emotional, significantly increases, requiring heightened awareness. And perhaps the hardest and most insidious of all, her profound sense of identity can begin to feel diminished, becoming, at times, invisible within a youth-centric world. These profound changes are not abstract concepts. They are tangible, lived realities, and they can undeniably feel incredibly heavy, bearing down on one's spirit. But here, amidst these challenges, is the undeniably good news, the beacon of empowerment. You are not, under any circumstances, powerless in the face of these shifts. A substantial majority of these formidable challenges can be effectively managed, their sharp edges softened, and in many instances even significantly turned around or mitigated with a foundation of informed awareness and the consistent application of small, deliberate daily habits. Simple yet powerful actions such as diligently writing things down to aid your memory, proactively reaching out to a friend for connection, remaining ever alert and skeptical to the manipulative tactics of scammers, and meticulously keeping your home environment safe and secure. These seemingly tiny steps, when accumulated and consistently applied, add up to an incredibly robust and comprehensive system of protection, safeguarding your independence and well-being. And if you choose to do nothing else today, if only one piece of advice resonates and is acted upon, please, for your own safety and peace of mind, do this one crucial thing tonight. Turn on a nightlight. It may sound incredibly small, almost insignificant, but that little comforting glow could very well save you from the #1 danger that women over 80 face, the often catastrophic fall. One tiny light, strategically placed, truly possesses the power to protect your invaluable independence, ensuring you can continue to move through your home safely and confidently. Now, before you graciously depart, I would genuinely love for you to stay deeply connected with me here to continue this vital conversation. If you found this video, this honest dialogue, genuinely helpful, I wholeheartedly invite you to subscribe to Insightful Senior for a continuous stream of more honest, practical conversations specifically tailored to navigating the profound journey of aging with grace and wisdom. Please hit that all-important like button to help spread awareness far and wide. because you genuinely never know which woman out there, grappling with unseen struggles, might desperately need to hear this precise message today, finding solace and empowerment within its words. And finally, I extend my invitation once more to share with me in the comments section below what has been the single most unexpected, most surprising change you personally faced after gracefully turning 80. Your unique story, your lived experience could very well be the exact revelation, the very insight another woman desperately needs to hear today, offering her invaluable perspective and a sense of shared understanding. Remember this, always. You are not invisible. Your presence and wisdom are deeply valued. You are not alone. A community of women stands with you. And your best years, far from being behind you, still hold immeasurable value, profound meaning, and a rich tapestry of wisdom that the world, now more than ever, truly needs to see, to hear, and to embrace. So stay strong in spirit, stay prepared with knowledge, and keep shining your brilliant light for all to see.